Okay, you guys, what is up? The King of Lightning is here today to do One Piece Chapter 716 review. So before I get started, let me say a few things. All right, number one, as you can see here, a new place, a new location. I have moved into a new apartment when I go to college. Well, when I start going back to classes, actually. And it's a single studio apartment, which is very good for me. Very good for me. Basically, it's my own bathroom. It's my own kitchen, my own fridge, my own dishwasher, my own everything, all right? Which is great for me. I don't have to worry about people going into the fridge and taking shit that's not theirs. I don't have to worry about the sink being constantly dirty because it's my sink and I clean my shit. So, I mean, that's just the way it is. It's just fantastic. It's wonderful. So, that's number one right there. Number two, yesterday, I couldn't do the reviews for One Piece and Naruto because yesterday I had to transfer my stuff from point A to point B. So the thing about that is that the transfer took a very long time. So obviously I couldn't do the reviews. I couldn't get them out. So I informed people via the Facebook fan page and the Twitter who follow me that I couldn't get the reviews out. So if you were complaining and whining and like, listen, very simple. Follow me on the fan page or the Twitter and you will be up to date. If I can't get the reviews out, if I'm a day late or 2 days late or 3 days late, I will inform you on the fan page about my situation. Because life is very important. And life takes priority over all things. So that's the way it is, alright? I'm not a believer, so my life is actually very important. That being said, hopefully you guys who are not members of the fan page or the Twitter, hopefully you guys do become, so you guys don't bitch as much. I mean, there'll still be bitching, but hopefully there'll be less bitching. So that's number two right there. Now, on to One Piece chapter, once again, 716 review. Wow. I mean, listen, bro, Haki. Haki up. People, I love Haki. I love, because to me, I think it's so cool. I think it's so nasty when these dudes just Haki up. People just start passing out because they can't handle their fucking sheer will. Sheer will alone, and people are just passing out, like, just done. Like, oh, I can't handle it. I can't take it. Done. Out of here. But the main focus of the chapter is the getting to where we're going. And basically seeing the remaining two people there in the ring who are conscious and who are still in the ring. And those are Don Chinjao and Monkey D. Luffy. Now, before I get started with that, okay, let me go step by step, section by section. First section, Carry Funk and his ability, a paramecia ability known as the Jacket no Mi. So now we see what happens. And it wasn't like he transformed, right? And this is why I find the paramecia so goddamn horrifying. Because unless you're elemental-based or animal-based, you're a paramecia. And they have the broadest category by far. By far. It's not even funny. Any unique or strange ability, like Bartolomeo's barriers, like Law's rune, any unique abilities or strange abilities are categorized underneath the paramecia. And this guy can become a jacket. Now it's very strange, so work with me. But Carry Funk can open up his body like a jacket, and people can put him on. Sounds weird, I know, but people can put him on like a coat, like a jacket. And when they do so, he takes over their body, and his personality overthrows their personality. So what he did was that his brother put him on like a coat, like a jacket. And then Carry Funk took over the body of his brother, who apparently had a very well-built body. Very strong body since he was born. But the problem was that he had a very timid personality. So he takes over that personality with his own personality. And he engaged in combat against Bo, and he beats the shit out of him. So that's what happened right there. And according to Carry Funk, he can actually do the same thing to animals and monsters. And when we saw him put the jacket on, when we saw Carrie become the jacket, it was as if like the jacket himself, like the body itself, starts to like extend and stretch out. So he can maybe put himself over Sea Kings, which is, I mean, that's a stretch, but it's like, that's like a legit stretch. But when we saw him put him over his brother, he actually, like, his body, like the jacket body starts to like expand and stretch. So it's a very unique and a strange ability. In fact, in a way, it's kind of hacks. You feel me? So he can literally take over anyone by just like opening up his body and like consuming them, and take over their own bodies. I mean, that's a Carrie Funk right here. But the problem is that in this chapter, after he takes out most of the fodder, or a lot of fodder, like bow and so on and so forth, he gets one-shotted by Sai with his Haoshoku. And yo, dude, nasty, man. He's doing like his Gatling punches, and Sai is like stepping on his gloves, on his hands. He jumps in the air with a high kick, brings it down right on top of the back of his head, and knocks him out. So that was very impressive, very well done. I love this Haoshoku. I think it's really cool, man. The face of 8 impacts, love it. All right, a nice unique martial arts skill that basically bypasses most defenses. It's very nasty. And then Sai takes him out right there, okay, well, not avenge his brother, but to back up one of his members, back up one of his men, being the leader of the Happo Navy. So that's the first part right there when it comes to stage 1. Stage 2 is Chinjao, and Chinjao coming in there. He wants to kill Luffy. He wants to beat the shit. He wants to kill Luffy, and basically he's saying how apparently the reason why he's so upset with Luffy and Garp is because apparently Garp stole his treasure and took away his power, and therefore removed the memory. Hold on, let me find the exact quote, because the quote is very... Okay, so what he says here is that... Okay, right here. So it says, "It's time for you to atone for his sins, try out Luffy. Your grandfather stole my precious fortune, along with my power, and with it, the fond memories of my golden years." Now, it's very strange that the way he's making it seem, he's making it seem as if, like, Garp was a damn pirate. Like, Garp stole his treasure. Like, Garp just took his gold and said, "Fuck you." Or some shit like that. And beat the shit out of him. And left, like, a scar. And, like, you know, permanently damaged him. Where he couldn't use his full power after the beating. And therefore, I mean, that's what... I'm assuming that when he says, "along with my power," I'm assuming that he beat the shit out of Chinjao. Even though Chinjao could split continents, Garp apparently was stronger. Monkey D. Garp. And that when he beat him, he couldn't, you know, fight at full power because either he was that wounded or that damaged, or there was a more specific reason to it. Now, his fortune could have, it may have been something other than gold. It may have been something that is symbolic to Chinjao, and Garp either destroyed or took it away from him. And then when they engaged in combat because of that reason, and Garp beat Chinjao, then maybe Chinjao couldn't, again, maybe he was so heavily wounded that he couldn't fight at full power anymore. And thus the memory of, and thus his golden age was over. His golden, you know, years were done because of that reason. Now, again, I don't know, but we'll see. Hopefully we'll see. Maybe there'll be a flashback of some kind, because I really would like to see a flashback. I really would. That, and of course the Aokiji Akainu fight. That's a flashback that we gotta see. Oh, we gotta see that flashback. But basically, that's the reason why Chinjao's so upset. All right, because of Garp's transgressions against him. So that's why he's very infuriated. But at the same time, in the same stage, Chinjao, he can't reach Luffy because of there's all these fodder all over the place. And then in comes this bandit guy, Gene the Bandit. And then Gene, he hears what Chinjao says. He's like, "Oh, okay, so you are Monkey Luffy." And he starts to throw his weapons at Luffy. Luffy easily dodging, easily, you know, just yeah, whatever, yeah, oh, yeah. And so we have Gene talking about the prisoners from Impel Down who escaped, and how he spent a lot of time catching them, and he gained and he actually got a lot of money and fame because of that. And the thing about it is that he wants to target the rest of the escape squad. I think that's what he calls them. Jinbei, Ivankov, Crocodile, Luffy himself, Shiryu, and so on and so forth. And all the while he's saying this, he just cannot hit Luffy. Now, granted, he does have these nasty ass throws. The throws can actually like go through stone, and they can pierce dudes and rip off like sections of their body. But it's just that they're not hitting Luffy. They're not going anywhere near. Luffy's just like, yeah, okay, right. Oh, Ivankov. Oh, level 6. Okay, right. So he's very upset. He's like, what the fuck? So he's very upset. He's like, what the hell's happening? And all of a sudden, and this to me, I thought was hilarious. I thought it was so funny. He stops throwing. He looks. Luffy looks behind him. Chinjao, right behind him. Right behind him. And then Gene had these eyes, like these swelled up anime eyes. Like, it was hilarious. He had these swelled up anime eyes. He was like, fuck. Luffy grabs the helmet, walks away. In comes Chinjao, headbutt. Headbutts. And Gene gets sent rocking back. And he's out of the ring and he's knocked out. He's done. Then at the same time, so that's stage 2 right there. Stage 3, we have Sai and we have the Triple X boxer, Ideo. From that, what's it called? The championship. Hold on. Quick second, because I need to find this too. Because this also, in my opinion, it will be relevant in the future of the series, but as of right now, it's not so. Yeah, from the World Central Brawling V2 League. So these two are engaging in combat, and they're going at each other like hardcore. We have the Ashoken and like these explosion punches, and they're going blow for blow, toe for toe, blow for blow, toe for toe, and they're going at it. And then in comes Chinjao and Luffy. All right, they sneak attack Ideo and Sai. Luffy kicks Sai to the waist side over there, and Ideo gets punched by goddamn Chinjao. Now, the reason why people, I think, call them fodder is because of the fact that these guys are not up to snuff when it comes to Chinjao and Luffy. And I would partially agree. But the thing is that you have to realize is that Ideo and Sai, they got hit and they got knocked out of the ring by Chinjao and Luffy. But they were still conscious. They were knocked out. They were still conscious. At least that's the way it seems when we see them in the water. So that's very important to note because, yeah, it's a tournament and they got knocked out of the ring. But they weren't defeated, technically. So that's, I mean, like when we see in the last tournament, the Block B, when we saw this dude, Prudence Empire King, and he punched, people were knocked the fuck out because of that chakra. People were out. But we have these two guys. Ideo takes a punch from Chinjao. He's not knocked out. He's still conscious. Luffy kicks Sai. He's not out of the ring, but he's not knocked out. So you can't really call them fodder if they can take punches from guys like Luffy and Chinjao and still be conscious. They get blown back because it's tournament rules, but they're not unconscious. So that's the way it is. To me, there's no way they're fodder if they can take punches from these guys. They're not getting one-shotted. So that's very important to know. Because the thing here is that we see Bellamy, and even though he lost Block B, he's still relevant in the arc. So Sai and Ideo, they may become more relevant in the arc. Even though they lost, they still may become more relevant. The same thing could apply to Chinjao if Chinjao loses to Luffy. If. Because we don't know. We just don't know. The assumption is Luffy's the main character, he could win. Or he will win. But the thing here is that when Luffy first hit Chinjao, when him and Cavendish were fighting against Chinjao, he took a Haki punch, and he got up from that and called Luffy a greenhorn. He called him a greenhorn, like, you know, like that was a pretty solid punch, but it's just that you still have a long way to go. You're still a greenhorn. So, I mean, I'm just saying, like, Chinjao is actually him winning is actually very plausible. I mean, we've seen Luffy lose bad in the past, so who's not to say that he can't lose now or get knocked out of the ring? I'm just saying. But then again, when you think about it, because Luffy's been through so much training, it would kind of contradict his training, where it's like, you know. But the main point here is that now these two are engaged in combat, okay? We see them, arm and Haki punch connects. And then there's a clash of Conqueror's Haki, which is very important. But let me get to that later. And then people in the ring, who are left in the ring, they pass the fuck out. And then now, all that remains is Luffy and Chinjao. So the point here is that now, hopefully, we're gonna see Luffy go all out in a fight. It's been such a long time since we saw Luffy go all out, like all out in like an actual one-on-one fight with someone. We saw him destroy half of Noah, okay, which was actually, you know, like pretty damn impressive. I mean, considering the fact that Noah needs to be carried by Sea Kings, which are at least 5,000 meters large. So it's like, that's a big ass fucking ship. If it has to be carried by multiple creatures that are larger than Mount Matterhorn. I'm just saying. But the problem here is that he was wounded. He didn't go all. He didn't per se go out against somebody, and Horty Jones just took the brunt of that attack. Then we see Caesar Clown. After the like, basically, Luffy blitzes Caesar Clown like almost every time. It's just that Luffy gets, you know, trapped. First time he gets the oxygen removed from the atmosphere, and then he gets caught off guard. Second time in comes Monet, and the third time it's a straight up blitz fest. And then in comes the goddamn Grizzly Mag, and then we see him blitz. We see him decimate Caesar Clown. He sends him flying across the entire goddamn mountain range in that R section tunnel. He blows through that giant steel door and tunnel, Grizzly Magnet. But now we have it. But now we should have a chance where Luffy should go at least partially all out. I need to see when he did the Red Hawk, he was under 10,000 meters of water pressure, and he still blasted a hole through Horty Jones. This time around, if I see Red Hawk, it better be goddamn crazy. It better be insane shit. And Chinjao, he's just the dude to bring out Luffy's full potential. He's just the guy. So, oh man, Chinjao. Oda, you better make him deliver. Oh, I swear. Oda, if Chinjao loses on some like bitch assness or like on some trick way, like if Luffy somehow tricks Chinjao into falling out of the ring, bullshit. Absolute 100% bullshit. I would not be pleased whatsoever. And let me get back to what I was saying before, right? The Conquer Haki clash. That's actually very important. Because when I think about it, the way Haki's emphasized, it's like will. Or at least when it comes to Haoshoku Haki, it's will. It's will so strong where it basically causes people to pass out. If they are, I think Oda says that if a person is not worth fighting, they'll be knocked out. But the thing here is that what if someone has an equally strong will or even stronger will? Then will the wills clash? And the thing about it is that in this episode, what we see here is that we see, okay, so it's very important, right? So go back on the episode, in the chapter, go back to the panel, all right, where we see them first connect fists with the armor Haki, all right? And also very important to know is that this is a Don Chinjao fist, not a headbutt. His main thing is the headbutt. A headbutt, okay? So go back to the panel where we see them clash with the initial Haoshoku Haki punches, alright? And we see like the actual air itself starting to spark and crack. There's all these lightning streaks all over the place, alright? And then when you go to the next page, that crack and that expansion, or that crack expands even further to consume almost the entire ring. And then people who were at first conscious, in a smaller panel on the last page, they're passed out. In fact, we see a dude who was first conscious, and all of a sudden, like a small little figurine, and all of a sudden he slumped over the side of the ring. So, what's very important is that we now see what a clash of Conqueror's Haki looks like. In the midst of them using Busoshoku, they also did Haoshoku. And then the initial clash of Busoshoku expanded because of their will of Haoshoku. And what's happening is that people pass out around them because of that. But the way it's defined is like a cracking of the air. In fact, it's very similar to this. And I'm not saying that Zoro has Conqueror's Haki. I'm just saying that it's very similar, where the air starts to crack, and like because of the friction of the Haoshoku Haki. That's the way it is. And so the way Oda depicts it, I think it's actually very cool. But this may also tie deeper into Shanks' own Haki, because Shanks' Haki, remember, Shanks could damage ships with that shit leaking out. But what we see here is that like the air itself, like there's this huge uproar of static and cracking in the air, almost like a whitebeard quake. And it appears as if like there's some kind of a destructive force to that clash of Haoshoku Haki. So this may lead further on to explain Shanks' own Haki and how his Haki can actually like destroy things or like break down stuff. So very important to know for the future. And I'll leave it at that. The chapter rating overall, I'm gonna give it. I thought it was actually a very good chapter, so I'll give it good plus. I mean, because again, for me personally, the guys who are fighting aren't fodder. Fodder are the dudes that get knocked the fuck out. Those are fodder. If you can take Luffy's Haki and not get knocked out, then you're not fodder. You may be like low tier or mid tier, but you're not fodder. There's a difference. Like fodder are like, you know, regular Marines with guns. Like, they're fodder. I'm just saying. Now, I know people want to go back to the Fujitora fight. So do I. I mean, so do I. But it's just that this fight, I mean, this competition in Block C is actually pretty damn beast, in my opinion. I like it a lot. I mean, I like Hideo. I love Sai. Chinese polearm. I love Sai. Love Sai. I mean, for me personally, I like it a lot because it's more martial arts based. It's more, you know, hand-to-hand based, and that to me, I think is really damn cool. So, I'm just saying that this Block C has been pretty good so far, my personal opinion. It's just that because people want to see, the problem is that people are disregarding what's going on in this fight as irrelevant or, you know, just a bunch of fodder because they want to see the Law, Flamingo, and Fujitora fight. But don't worry about it because people are so worried that Oda's going to skip it. He's not going to skip it. If he does, for example, if we see the end result of that fight, Oda's going to backtrack. I mean, that's what he does. And the whole entire Sanji thing, when Sanji contacted Law, and then we backtrack to what happens, like, it's like 15 minutes earlier. We see Sanji, and basically he was getting beat up by Violet. Oda backtracks. He does that. So it's like, people are worried for no goddamn reason. It's like, relax. Relax. Take it easy, okay? So, but yeah, I'm done. King of Lightning, be sure, of course, rate, comment, and subscribe as always. Peace. Have a nice day.